Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you are doing well. It's the middle of the week, and I hope that you've been having a good week so far. They call it the hump because, Monday and Tuesday we're kind of going uphill. Then Wednesday we're at the hump, and then Thursday and Friday we're coming back down to the weekend. So, anyways, this is the in the raw, unpracticed, unedited, unscripted conversation. And today I want to talk to you about change. And, it's something that we all go through, something that is part of our lives. We age as, people. The other day, somebody saw me that we hadn't seen each other in years. And he's like, he told me, wow, look at you. You've really changed. And I says, well, so have you. So, we all change, and we all have different habits that we develop, and they change constantly. We move around. There's, and the truth is that we all go through change. And when I was in middle school, back then it was called junior high, one of my teachers got me into the quote of the day. That's why now as a teacher, I do that every day. I don't know if you've noticed that I post. Sometimes I post, this is the quote that we talked about today. So, but the beginning of the day, I always have a quote up every single day, and I have the students think about it and what they think it means, and we talk about it. And but going back to my junior high, one of my teachers did that, and that's probably what got me interested in doing this as a teacher, as I was saying. And one day he had one up by the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus. And the quote was very simple. It said, change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. And, and that is so true. All these years I've thought about this, and I'm reminded that, the only thing that's constant, the only thing that is continuously happening is change. I mean, we see it with ourselves. If I showed you a picture of me when I was, 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, I look different because we age, right? Our minds also change. We think differently. Just driving to work this morning, I driving on the freeway, I have a bunch of cars just passing me by on both sides, and I usually drive around 70 miles per hour, no more than that on the freeway. But I remember, a few years ago, I used to be one of those people passing other cars, driving at 80, 85, even 90 miles per hour. But I changed. I decided, I don't need to drive fast. There's no reason, you kind of mature and you think about it. That your car takes a beating when you force it too much. You waste more gas. Your brakes, you waste your brakes, or you wear out your brakes more quickly. And so I changed. I changed in that aspect. I said I'm gonna be more. I'm gonna be. I don't want to say smarter, but yeah, it is more smarter to take care of your car in that sense as well. Sometimes we don't think about things like that, right? And so, but anyways, we are constantly changing. And Paul writes to the Romans, and he tells them that they need to change, that they need to be into that habit of changing, but he also says how not to change. And he says this to them. He says, don't change yourselves to be like the people of this world. Don't change yourselves. Don't go with the flow, in other words. There's so many people that go with the flow that just, whatever's trending, whatever's the latest. And we want to be part of that. And we want to wear the latest brands. And we want to be in the middle of everything that's trending, like I said, in our social media and so forth. It's nothing bad with that, but sometimes we just get obsessed with that, and that's where it becomes problematic, right? When we become obsessed with that. But he says, don't change yourselves to be like the people of this world, but let God change you inside with the new way of thinking. So he's saying, instead of going with the flow, instead of doing what the world is doing, and you want to be part of that because you want to be relevant, instead of that, don't change that way. The way you should change is allowing God to change your way of thinking, allowing Him to change your mind. In another version of this of Romans, it says transformed. You should be transformed. Let your mind be transformed. Let your thinking be transformed. And I think that is very important, that we change our way of thinking and not necessarily be, just because we want to fit in and be like the trend or whatever's the latest or whatever. But, let's take it a step further and think with a kingdom mentality, or with a God mentality, with a Christ mentality, and think things with a different perspective. And that's how we should always be changing, and I think I said this before, the Bible also tells us that we should be like Jesus. Well, we're never going to reach His full likeness until we're out of this world, until we leave this world. But in the meantime, we are changing constantly. Every single day, we should be changing. And every single day, we should be looking more like Him, right? And instead of looking more like the latest trend, like I said, or what's more relevant out in the world or out there. So we need to change our way of thinking to be like Christ more and more and more every single day, until one day when we leave this world, then we will be the Bible says that we will be like Him, because we will see Him face to face. We would have reached that complete likeness to Christ. Anyways, I hope you have a good day, and we will talk to you soon.